Hello everyone, I am Garima Bothra. Encounter killings, also known as extrajudicial killings, have been a trending topic for a while now. The growing rate of crimes against women and also the time-taking process to achieve justice have led to the welcoming of these extrajudicial remedies. The best example for this is how last year in 2019, 4 people who were accused of rape and murder of a young woman were killed in an encounter by Hyderabad police. Later that day, the internet was filled with slogans of Police Zindabad, although the Hyderabad police claimed to have done it as an act of self-defense. But the topic for today's discussion is, are there any laws justifying these encounters, and do the police have the right to take lives? So let's talk about the provisions in the Indian Penal Code which favor encounters. So first is Section 96. Section 96 clearly states that nothing is an offence which is done in the exercise of one's right to private defence. Then this defence is available to every person including policemen. Then Section 97. Section 97's first clause talks about right to private defence of one's body, and the second talks about right to private defence of one's property. Then Section 99. Section 99 states that private defence is only limited to inflicting necessary harm and nothing more than that. Then Section 100. Section 100 states situations where right to private defence of one's body which results in the death is justifiable. Death of a person is not justifiable as cautioned in the Section 101. Then Section 103. Section 103 states situations where private defence of one's property which results in the death of a person is justifiable. The Section 104 states situations where this death is not justifiable. Then Section 300, Exception 2. Culpable homicide is not a murder if the exercise of one's right to private defence in good faith exceeds the power given to him by law and causes the death of a person against whom he is exercising such right without any intention of doing more harm than necessary for the purpose of the defence. Then Code of Criminal Procedure. In the Code of Criminal Procedures, Section 46, states that a policeman you can use force while arresting a man. However, Clause 3 states that the policeman does not have the power to cause death of a person who is not accused of any offence. So let's talk about the court's interventions in the cases of encounters. In 2009, the High Court of Andhra Pradesh in Andhra Pradesh Civil Liberties Committee versus the State Government of Andhra Pradesh held that every encounter must be treated as a culpable homicide. However, this was challenged in the Supreme Court. While this case was still pending, another case in 2014 called People's Union Civil Liberties versus State of Maharashtra, in this case, same question was raised. The Supreme Court issued certain guidelines on how investigation must be conducted in cases of encounters. So the first one, whenever there is a tip-off of criminal activities, for example, when a criminal is trying to escape, the police needs to first record in writing or any other electronic form. It does not need to record where it is going, but certain details about it. If during the execution of the before mentioned results in death, an FIR is to be launched. Then when investigation must be done by a police team of another police station or a CID team. Then fourth, the report must be sent to a judicial magistrate. NHRC must be informed. If the victim is only injured, medical aid must be provided to him immediately. The report is to be sent to a court and the police diary entries must be filled with no delay. After the completion of the investigation, a report must be sent to a competent court. The family of the victim must be informed. An annual report of all the encounters must be sent to NHRC. Disciplinary action must be taken against the police officer who has been found guilty. Compensation must be provided to the family of the victims. The concerned police officer is required to surrender weapons for forensic analysis. Legal aid must be provided to the police officer. No promotion must be provided to the officer soon after the encounter or as a result of the encounter. If the family of the victims is not satisfied with the procedure followed, it can file a complaint in the sessions court. So let's talk about the guidelines issued by the NHRC. In 1993, it issued guidelines that every case of custodial death must be reported within 24 hours. The post-mortem report, the inquest reports, and any other document were to be sent to the Human Rights Supervisory in order to justify the death. These guidelines were a result of a complaint filed by the Andhra Pradesh Civil Liberties Union as there were an increase in number of fake encounters. According to these guidelines, encounter would not result as an offense if the officer did it as in order to save himself, and the action was necessary to make the arrest. Also, in order to eliminate the impunity provided to the policemen, in 1997, NHRC declared that if any policeman is, in cases of custodial deaths, was found guilty, he would have the same defenses of the one of a common man. The NHRC in 2010 declared that if an action resulting in death reveals malice or any other matter irrelevant to the facts of the case, then the policeman will be charged with culpable homicide. There have been cases where these encounters were claimed to be fake. Therefore, the need for stricter guidelines is necessary, and this state-sponsored terrorism must be put to an end. We cannot overlook the fact that these encounters can replace the punishments provided after a fair trial in accordance with the procedure set up by the law, and as these are highly welcomed by the masses. There is a reason we have a judicial system, and the procedure set up by the law must only be followed. I agree that is a time-taking process to attain justice, but fake encounters are not the alternatives. This sort of quick justice which the public expects isn't just. Thank you for watching.